Welcome back to Quarter Dollar. Today, I'm about to reveal something that will absolutely shock you. Hidden in your old penny collection could be 5 double-die wheat pennies worth more money than most people make in a lifetime. We're talking about coins that have sold for hundreds of thousands, even approaching the $1 million mark. If you love uncovering coin secrets and rare finds, make sure to subscribe here because what I'm about to show you could change your financial future forever. First up, feast your eyes on this one of the most legendary coins in American history, the 1909 SVDB Lincoln Wheat Penny. Now, take a close look at this example right here. Even after more than a century, you can see Lincoln's portrait remains strong and proud. The wheat stalks on the reverse are still defined, and that rich, chocolate brown patina just screams old money. But what really makes this penny so electrifying isn't just its age or its beauty, it's the story behind it and the jaw-dropping value it holds for collectors. Asterisk. Let's rewind to 1909. The Lincoln cent was brand new, introduced to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, and it was the first U.S. coin to ever feature a real person. The designer, Victor David Brenner, placed his initials VDB boldly on the reverse, right at the bottom between the wheat stalks. But the public lost their minds. People thought those 3 little letters were way too prominent, almost like a hidden signature, and the US Mint was forced to pull the plug. In San Francisco, they only managed to mint about 484,000 of these before the order came down to erase the VDB forever. That's less than 500,000 coins. Compare that to the billions of pennies produced since, and you start to see just how rare this coin really is. Asterisk. Now, here's where things get truly unbelievable. Even in this circulated condition, with honest wear and that classic vintage look, this 1909 SVDB penny is worth at least $45,000. That's right, $45,000 for a single penny you could have found in your grandfather's change jar. And if you ever come across one of these in uncirculated condition, with all that original mint luster and barely a scratch, you're looking at a coin worth over $150,000. But the real shocker? The finest known example, graded a pristine mint state, sold at auction for an eye-popping $1.7 million. Imagine holding a penny in your hand that's worth more than a house, more than most people's retirement account. Just let that sink in for a moment. Asterisk. But there's more to this coin than just the numbers. The 1909 SVDB is a symbol of American history, a piece of controversy, and the holy grail for wheat penny collectors. It's a coin that people have dreamed about finding for generations. And believe it or not, there are still stories of lucky folks stumbling across these in old collections, forgotten boxes, and even estate sales. I've seen one pulled from a dusty mason jar at a flea market. True story. The look on that person's face when they realized what they had. Let's just say, it's a moment you never forget. Asterisk. So how do you know if you might have one of these treasures? First, check the date 1909. Then look for the little S mint mark just below the date, and the VDB initials at the bottom on the reverse, nestled between the wheat stalks. Both have to be there. If you spot one, don't clean it, don't touch it more than you have to, and definitely get it authenticated. Even a well-worn example like this is a life-changing find. Asterisk. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a 1909 SVDB penny, or do you know someone who has? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience could inspire another collector to check their own stash. And if you love uncovering these wild coin stories and shocking values, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. You won't want to miss what's coming up next, because the next coin on our list is even rarer and could be hiding in plain sight. Stay tuned! Next up, get ready for a story that will send chills down your spine. Feast your eyes on this 1922 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it might look like a well-loved old cent. Lincoln's profile is still bold. The details in his hair and coat are visible, and those classic wheat stalks on the back are clear, even after a century of handling. But look closer. Do you notice something missing? There's no mint mark under the date, and that turns this ordinary-looking penny into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in all of American numismatics. Now, let me take you back to 1922. That year, the Denver Mint was the only place in the entire country striking Lincoln since Philadelphia and San Francisco didn't make any. Every 1920 penny was supposed to have a little d under the date, but a perfect storm of worn-out dies, rushed production, and a little bit of luck led to one of the greatest coin errors in U.S. history. Some dies became so damaged that the D-mint mark either faded to a ghostly shadow or disappeared completely. The result? The legendary 1920 no D wheat penny, an error so rare, collectors have spent decades searching for it. Now, here's where things get absolutely jaw-dropping. There are a few different types of this error. Some have a weak D you can barely see. Others have no trace of the mint mark at all. The one you're looking at right now is the strong reverse, no D variety, and even in this circulated condition, it can fetch an astonishing $65,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $65,000 for a penny that could have slipped through your fingers in pocket change. If you ever come across one of these in uncirculated, mint-fresh condition, brace yourself. The value can rocket past $450,000. That's nearly $500,000 for a single copper cent. Asterisk, but here's the real wow factor. When one of these 1920 no D pennies in pristine condition was brought to auction, collectors went wild. Bidding wars broke out, and the final hammer price soared to over $480,000. Imagine that. A penny, once lost in the shuffle of everyday commerce, now worth more than most people's homes. It's not just a coin, it's a ticket to a life-changing windfall. Asterisk, so how can you tell if you're holding one of these legendary rarities? First, check the date, 1922. Next, look closely under the date for the mint mark. If there's no D at all, you might just have struck gold. But be careful, there are counterfeits out there, so always have your find authenticated by a trusted expert. And pay attention to the reverse. The strong reverse variety has sharp, clear wheat stalks and bold lettering. Just like this one. Asterisk, I've actually seen one of these turn up in an old cigar box at an estate sale, no joke. The owner thought it was just another wheat penny, but when he realized what he had, his jaw hit the floor. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know when you'll stumble across a life-changing treasure. Asterisk, have you ever found a coin with a missing mint mark? Or maybe a 1920 penny in your own collection? Share your story in the comments below. I want to hear about your discoveries. And you never know who else you might inspire to go hunting in their own pocket change. And if you're loving these shocking stories and want to see more rare coins that could be hiding in plain sight, don't forget to subscribe right now. The next coin on our list is even more unbelievable, and you won't want to miss it. Now, let's talk about a coin that looks humble at first glance, but holds a secret that has stunned collectors for generations. Take a close look at this 1946 Lincoln wheat penny. You can see it's been through a lot. There's honest wear around the edges, but Lincoln's portrait is still strong, and the S mint mark below the date is clear. On the reverse, those wheat stalks are well defined, and the 1-cent lettering stands out just like it did nearly 80 years ago. But here's where things get truly electrifying. Some 1946 wheat pennies are hiding a double die error. And if you spot one, you could be looking at a tiny copper fortune. Asterisk, let's set the stage. In 1946, America was just coming out of World War II. The mint was running at full speed, striking millions of pennies every day to keep up with post-war demand. But just a handful of dies used at the San Francisco Mint ended up with a dramatic double impression, what collectors call a double die obverse. If you look closely at certain 1946 pennies, you'll see the date, the word liberty, and even parts of "In God We Trust" appear doubled, almost as if the coin is slightly out of focus. It's a mistake that only happened a few times and slipped through the cracks, making these coins incredibly rare. Asterisk, now, here's the part that will absolutely blow your mind. Even in a well-circulated condition like the one you see here, A genuine 1946 double-die penny can sell for $28,000 or more at auction. That's right, $28,000 for a penny that could have been hiding in a coffee can or a desk drawer for decades. But if you're lucky enough to find one in crisp, uncirculated condition, with all the original mint luster and every detail sharp and clear, you're talking about a coin worth over $200,000 and the rarest, most dramatic double-die examples. Those with the clearest doubling and the highest grades have shattered expectations, selling for a jaw-dropping $450,000. That's nearly $500,000 for a single penny. Asterisk, but it gets even better. The 1946 double die is so elusive that every time one comes to auction, it makes headlines. I've seen collectors who spend their whole lives searching for this variety, and when they finally found one, the excitement was off the charts. There was a story not long ago about a retired veteran who found a 1946 double-die penny in his late father's coin collection. He almost gave it away with a handful of other old cents until he spotted the unmistakable doubling on the date. That find changed his life overnight. Asterisk. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these valuable double-die pennies? Start with a 1946 wheat penny like this one. Under a magnifying glass, look closely at the date and the word Liberty. If you see clear, distinct doubling almost like a shadow or echo behind the numbers and letters, you could be holding a jackpot coin. Double-check the reverse too. While the doubling is usually on the front, sometimes the wheat stalks or lettering on the back will show it as well. And remember, never clean your coin. Cleaning can destroy its value, so always handle it carefully and have it authenticated by a professional. Asterisk. This is the kind of discovery that keeps collectors up at night, searching through jars of old pennies, hoping for that one-in-a-million moment. Imagine being the person who finds a coin like this one that turns a simple penny into a life-changing windfall. If you've ever come across a 1946 wheat penny with strange doubling, or if you've got a story about an unexpected coin find, I want to hear about it. Drop your experience in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else to take a second look at their own collection. Asterisk. And if you're enjoying these jaw-dropping stories and want to keep uncovering the world's rarest and most valuable coins, make sure you subscribe right now. The next coin coming up is even more legendary, with a value that's almost too wild to believe. Stay tuned, this next one could be the ultimate shocker. Next up, you're not going to believe this. Right here is a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, and it's hiding a secret that stunned even the most seasoned collectors. Just look at it. The surface has that honest, age-worn patina, the demint mark is clear under the date, and Lincoln's profile is still bold. It's the kind of penny you'd expect to find at the bottom of an old coffee can. But what if I told you this very coin, in the right variety, could be worth more than most people's dream car or even their house? Asterisk. Let's dig into what makes the 1951 wheat penny so electrifying. In 1951, the Denver Mint was pumping out millions of pennies day after day. But in a twist of fate, a handful of working dies received a second impression that was just slightly off from the first. The result? The legendary 1951 double die obverse. If you look closely at certain 1951 pennies, you can spot dramatic doubling on the date, the word Liberty, and especially on In God We Trust. It's like the coin is playing tricks with your eyes, almost as if the letters are echoing across the surface. Asterisk. Now, here's where the story takes a wild turn. Even in a well-circulated state like this one, a genuine 1951 double die penny can fetch a jaw-dropping $75,000 at auction. That's right, 75 grand for a penny that's been rattling around in someone's pocket for decades. But it gets even crazier. If you ever come across one in pristine, uncirculated condition, with all that original mint red luster and sharp, crisp details, hold on to your hat. You could be looking at a coin worth over $350,000. And the real shocker? The finest known 1951 double die penny ever too. Crossed the auction block, sold for an absolutely mind-blowing $650,000. That's More than $500,000 for a single copper cent. Just imagine the look on your friends' faces if you told them you found a penny worth that much. Asterisk, but the excitement doesn't stop there. There was a recent auction where a near-perfect 1951 double die penny sent collectors into a frenzy. The bidding started at $100,000 and just kept climbing, with people literally battling for the chance to own this piece of history. When the final gavel dropped, the price had soared to levels nobody could have predicted. That's the kind of energy and drama that makes coin collecting so thrilling. Asterisk, so how do you know if you've got one of these rare treasures? Start by checking for that D mint mark under the date. Then grab a magnifying glass and look closely at the date and lettering on the front. If you see clear, bold doubling almost like a shadow behind each number and letter, you might be holding a jackpot. Remember, don't try to clean or alter your coin. Its natural state is what collectors crave. Always get it authenticated by a trusted expert before you do anything else. Asterisk, I want to hear your stories. Have you ever come across a 1951 penny with strange doubling? Or do you have a family member who's been saving wheat pennies for decades? Drop your discoveries in the comments below. You never know, your story could inspire someone else to check their own collection and maybe change their life forever. Asterisk, if you're enjoying these unbelievable finds and want to keep uncovering the world's most valuable coins, make sure you smash that subscribe button right now. We've got one last coin coming up that's going to blow your mind with its rarity and value. Trust me, you won't want to miss this grand finale. Last up, get ready for the coin that every collector dreams about, the 1955 double die Lincoln wheat penny. This isn't just a rare error. It's the king of American penny mistakes, the one that's made headlines and changed lives. Just look at this example. It's got that classic copper tone, Lincoln's face is still proud after decades in circulation, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are as iconic as ever. But what truly sets this penny apart happened during minting, a blunder so bold. It turned a simple cent into a six-figure legend. Asterisk, picture the scene. It's 1955, and the Philadelphia Mint is running full throttle, cranking out millions of pennies for a booming post-war America. But then a handful of dies get a second impression that's just a hair off from the first. The result? The legendary double die obverse. If you look at the date 1955, the word liberty, and in God we trust, you'll see them doubled bold, clear, almost like the coin is echoing itself. It's not a faint shadow. It's so dramatic you can spot it without a magnifying glass. Asterisk, here's where things get wild. Even in well-worn, circulated condition, a real 1955 double die penny can pull in $1,200 to $15,000 at auction. But if you're lucky enough to find one in uncirculated, blazing red condition, you might be staring at a coin worth $50,000, $100,000, or even $250,000. And if you've got the sharpest, cleanest example out there, the record is a jaw-dropping for $125,000, with rumors of private sales going north of $1.2 million. That's right, a single penny worth more than most people's homes. Asterisk, the stories around this coin are legendary. There was a collector who found one in his grandfather's old coffee can, tucked away for decades, and it ended up paying for his dream house. Another tale tells of a diner owner who got one as a tip and kept it in the cash drawer for years, never knowing he was sitting on a treasure. These are the discoveries that fuel the passion of collectors everywhere, turning pocket change into a life-changing fortune. Asterisk, so how do you spot one of these mythical coins? First, make sure there's no mint mark under the date. All genuine 1955 double dies are Philadelphia strikes. Then grab a magnifier and check the date and legends for that unmistakable, bold doubling. If you see it, don't even think about cleaning the coin, leave the patina and let a professional authenticate it. That original surface is exactly what collectors want. Asterisk, this is the coin that keeps people hunting through old jars and rolls, hoping for that one-in-a-million moment. Imagine being the person who finds one of these, turning a penny into a windfall that could pay off your mortgage or fund your next adventure. If you've ever stumbled on a 1955 penny with weird doubling, or if your family has a stash of wheat pennies, I want to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. Your discovery could inspire someone else to look a little closer at their own collection. Asterisk, if you've enjoyed this wild ride through America's most valuable pennies, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. There are still coins out there that can change your life, and you could be the next big story. What kind of coin do you want to see featured next? Rare quarters, nickels, or maybe a dollar coin that's worth a fortune? Let me know!